All right, and then we typed it out. SV Cantina.
Now, do you want to move these over here?
Right, hey. We're almost ready here.
Are we on?
Not yet.
No? Okay, cool. I'm just getting everybody in the position. Whoa.
Can I mute you?
What the heck?
How do I mute you? Hang up. All right, Cliff. Cliff, I think we're live.
I hope so. I think we are actually.
It's been a while since we've held microphones before.
I love this. We're actually telling the Twitterverse. I love that our stream goes live and everyone's got their back to me, or I mean, I've got my back to everyone.
That's right.
I'm trying to tell Twitter what's going on here. It's absolutely crazy.
What is going on?
What is going on? Does this look fresh?
You know what's going on? Larry Curtis just joined the show, and Larry, let me tell you,
very fresh
you're
and
be
new.
Super jealous right now.
What is happening?
Because we are live.
I'm telling the Twitterverse right now.
All right, you tell the Twitterverse. I'll tell the fans what we're doing here. Cliff and I found a hobbit hole, and if you would believe it, look at that hobbit hole.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. We found an actual hobbit hole that looks suspiciously like it came from Mos Eisley Spaceport.
It did. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Torn Tuesday. This is your weekly dose of all things Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. My name's Justin. This is Cliff Broadway.
And I'm Clifford. How you guys doing? Welcome aboard. Wait. Are you ready for the selfie? This is the selfie that will launch 1,000 ships.
We're doing a live show here.
Not happening. It's happening. You ready, brother?
Okay.
Because we need to tell the Twitterverse that we are here live at the Scum and Villiany Cantina.
Take the picture.
Take the picture.
All right.
Wait. That's not how you take the picture.
He's not taking a picture.
No, yes, I am. Watch this.
All right,
there you go. Yeah.
All right. For you actually joining us live, we have been doing this show for 6 years now. And
Toledo.
And we've been in many locations. We started in your basement, and then we started in my basement, and then we went to
we never started in any bloody basement.
We went to the top of L.A.
They don't have basements in Los Angeles, for one. But yeah, but you know what? Seriously, 6 years? Can you believe it? Apologies to the Buckeye State, but I have to say again, holy Toledo, holy mackerel, apologies to the fishing industry. It's insane that it has been this many years. And we've been at the top of the skyscrapers in downtown LA.
That's right.
We have been across the layers of coolness in Hollywood at Meltdown Comics. And now we have just come to the rarefied air of the Scum and Villiany Cantina, the beautifully designed and well-appointed Star Wars cantina.
That's right.
Famous throughout the country here on Hollywood Boulevard. Do you believe it?
It crashed the internet when it was announced, and everyone thought it was just a short-term pop-up that the lawyers at Disney would come in and shut it down. And over a year later, they're going stronger than ever. And in fact,
little did they know.
In fact, one of the reasons that we're here right now is because at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays, Kevin Smith does his podcast right from here.
Can you smell that? Do you smell that? That's his DNA floating through the room. Mr. Smith?
Ellen just joined us. Hello.
Ellen.
Susan, Chantel. Look, I've got all these screens around me, and I just want to show you that we're working out all the jiggery pokery, but you have to see this place. Check this out.
Yeah, check this out, guys.
All right, Cliff, camera 2. You know where camera 2 is?
I do.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, camera 2. How you doing over there, guys? Welcome aboard. We're in front. Look at this bubbling green goo at the Scum and Villiany Cantina. We must be cautious.
I kind of like this shot, but it doesn't show that much of the bar. But you know, we've talked about.
That's great. This is so cool.
We've talked about covering these bubble things with like a fake barrel, maybe some foam core barrels or something like that.
I would love that.
To make it look more hobbity. But camera 2 is like right here, so hopefully we can have you know, special guests like surprise.
Is that our Skype already blowing up?
Skype is already blown up.
Skype is already blowing up because they want to call in.
Let's go to camera 4. You know where camera 4 is?
I think I do. Camera 4.
1, 2, 3.
Whoosh, wide made Sweet Bean Camera 4.
Now, this is the best shot of the place.
It really is.
Look at this
it's awesome.
place. It's huge. It's huge. It's a real Star Wars Cantina bar. And,
it is. It's the real
but
deal.
it doesn't have to be Star Wars because it feels like a Hobbit hole in here, doesn't it?
It means comfort. It really does mean comfort because there's no empty, bare walls. The place is like so specifically designed. These little geometric windows that are in these little booths, and the way the leather is done. I mean, you expect.
Those are all tables.
I know. Yeah, they're beautiful, and it looks so much like the original set design. And the only thing missing are some of those fantastic latex creatures that were designed by what's his name?
Who?
The guy who designed the creatures for the Cantina sequence.
I don't know who designed that. I'm not a Star Wars nerd.
Was it? Wait, tell us. Who was lead creature designer? It was Phil Tippett.
Phil Tippett.
Thank you. I knew
Very
that.
good.
Because it was on the tippet of my tongue. I knew it.
Oh boy,
I'm
that's
sorry.
terrible. But Cliff, one of the reasons that we've wanted to find a place like this is because we've had so many requests of people being able to join the show. Yeah. Not only tourists coming in, but locals who just want to be a part of the show on a weekly basis. How many people have said, hey, can you come in? Can you come by? And, you know, oftentimes we just didn't have the room, and it was hot and sweaty, and we didn't have air conditioning.
Or we were competing with other major events that were happening because there was a lot of activity.
A lot of activity over there.
Lots of stuff.
So this is an actual public place. It is.
I am in love with this place.
And it is zoned as a restaurant. So this is not 21 and over, right? Like any age can come in. The owner, JC, is up till 9 o'clock. So
that's right.
Basically, all ages can come in and join the show here, and we can send them to one of the Hobbit holes on camera 5. See over there, and there's tables over there. You can see the edges of it, and we put a poster on the wall.
Yeah, those are the inset, beautiful inset leather booths, and I love the design of these booths. It's really cool. Now look, the staff is busy, as you can see. They're hardworking staff here at Scum and Villiany, getting the chairs ready for the live audience that will be assembling for Mr. Smith's show. Say that 5 times fast.
We're now
Mr. Smith's show.
We're the opening act for Kevin Smith.
No way! Don't even. Don't even.
Well, hopefully your show soon too. Yeah. Well,
we're the opening act. Okay, yeah. That was like when Trent Reznor was the opening act for David Bowie in the 90s. Yes, right? That's exactly what that's like. Oh, I'm getting a nod of approval for that one. I'm sorry, guys, but
so guys,
this is the most exciting evolutionary step in our live show. Look at these cameras. I don't know which one to look at.
We're at camera 4 right now, and we got a question from Chantel saying,
I've got room to move.
Is this an actual set? Someone's asking, is this a set or is this green screen? Because we've been on a green screen set for several years now.
No, this is actually, look at me.
This is the real deal.
Telling you, watch. I'm moving around the set. Bye.
There goes Cliff. Walking around the set. He's right there. So this place is built for crowds.
It's the real deal.
It's camera ready with all these wonderful camera shots.
Sure is.
It has a kitchen, so there's a bunch of Hobbit food, and we've talked about having a wizard ale.
Oh yes, an Allegheny White, something. The Mithrandir White Ale. How about considering maybe stuffed mushroom caps, or something yummy? Ooh, Shire fries. That means they're going to be gooey and yummy and Shire fried taters. Hello.
Everything is themed here. Everything is the drinks are themed. The food is themed, and it reminds me of the one last party that we did, that you guys did, that you totally kickstarted. Let's go to this camera because I like this one over here.
Do you know what? You can even hear the traffic from Hollywood Boulevard right outside the door.
We always could hear the traffic.
But I mean, yeah,
now we're on Hollywood Boulevard, not Sunset Boulevard.
I live on Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm used to the traffic all the time, all the bloody time.
So Cliff, we've done many parties in Hollywood. Just
do you
up
guys
the street.
believe this?
And
we have.
And we've had amazing spreads of food and drink, all themed. And now we have an opportunity to have a permanent installation of Hobbit food and Hobbit drinks here in Hollywood. This is amazing.
Do you realize what this means?
What does this mean? I'm going to look at the chat right here.
This means party Hobbit style. And you know that the Hobbits can throw down a hard party, a mean party,
now,
like nobody else. Like,
we've got questions in the chat room.
It's time for a Hobbit party at the Scum and Villiany, guys.
Now Cliff, let's clear a few things up, okay?
Okay, what?
Ellen in the chat room says Scum and Villiany was designed as a pop-up. It's not officially licensed. Wait, it doesn't need to be licensed.
We're not a Star Wars.
We're not.
We're an intergalactic space cantina that celebrates all fandoms.
It's an all fandom cantina.
It's an intergalactic space cantina that celebrates all fandoms.
You know who was here on Sunday night? Rod Roddenberry and the entire Star Trek crew.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
And so Star Trek fans hang out here. We're hanging out here now every week.
That means Star Trek, Middle-earth, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and the Silmarillion, and Star Wars, and anything else can all be celebrated under one roof, but it is a great pleasure to be here. No underestimating, this is like a big evolution for us. Do you see what this says right here?
What does it say?
Shire fried taters on the menu. Get this. I love this. A favorite of Samwise. Potatoes. Crinkle cut fries to invoke the winding hills and valleys of the Shire. You can get them Gollum style with added cheese or add beef and chicken. Yum.
What about rabbit?
Oh, there's nothing like a nice brace of conies. You know that. I love this.
I've always wondered, is coney a real word or is that a Tolkien word?
No, conies is a slang term for rabbit meat. Rabbits.
But in Middle-earth only or just
no, it's just
in
that
life.
Most American kids never got into that kind of old British slang, and when they read The Lord of the Rings, it's the first time they saw it. So it's not really to be associated with Lord of the Rings. That is as common as dirt to call rabbits conies. It's just really, it's an old nickname, but it's got nothing. And Professor Tolkien wanted Samwise to sound like he was that rustic, backwoods kind of guy who was from a rural village. So he let Samwise have all the more colorful, slang and things that he did. That's the way he wrote.
And of course, Coney Island. A coney is a hot dog here in America.
Rabbit Island. Since when is a coney a hot dog?
A coney has always been a hot dog in America. Come on, you guys with me on this?
I thought it was an ice cream cone.
I'm getting a lot of head nods.
No, I thought America was the birthplace of the ice cream cone. Was it not? Was it in
coney.
Atlantic City or in the World's Fair where the ice cream cone was invented in America? Okay, all right. Culinary wars. We've just disintegrated our show to be a culinary argument.
Jeffrey Root is in the chat room. That's a familiar name. I went there to the cantina right after I saw The Last Jedi at the Chinese theater. Fun times. Fun cantina.
Yes, it's funny. Out of force of habit, I'm waving at the audience on that camera that's on your laptop. But now I have to break this habit.
Yeah.
Because we're really here. We're really looking at this camera. Hi, everybody. I got to get used to where the camera placement is. It's so fabulous.
Now I understand why they have red lights on cameras, so you know which one to look at.
Yep. Oh, watch any news reporter and look at their wandering eye. Even the not ready for primetime players on Saturday Night Live, watch their wandering eyes as they're looking for their teleprompter and they're looking for their red light on their camera so they know which one.
Hey, great idea in the chat room. Kaylin Griffin mentions Farmer Maggot. Now, would Farmer Maggot have a meat or a vegetable or a potato item? If they put something on the menu from Farmer Maggot's garden, what would it be? Did he raise sheep? Did he raise animals? Yes,
he did. He had a full-on farm. But if you're going to mention Farmer Maggot, then it has to be mushrooms, because Professor Tolkien goes on and on and on about how good Mrs. Maggot's recipe was for mushrooms. So anything with Farmer Maggot mentioning...
You're all about these mushrooms.
No, it's also because the Hobbit, Frodo, who was much younger, he got caught stealing vegetables from Farmer Maggot because he was being encouraged by his mischievous cousins. Am I wrong on this, guys? You guys in the chat room... Doesn't Farmer Maggot say, "I forgive you, Frodo, for stealing the vegetables from me when you were a kid"? Is that like in the book or not? Correct me if I'm wrong. But there's a lot of time spent talking about how hobbits love mushrooms and even steal them from their next door neighbors' farms.
We're actually getting from the OneRing.net in the chat room. We're getting actual quotations saying the most popular theory is the name. I think we're talking about conies again. Came from the old spelling of the Dutch word for rabbit, konijn.
Oh yes, konijn.
Derived from a purported large population of wild rabbits, given the name Rabbit Island. The following part of the theory is that the name. Okay, you know
How
that makes
fascinating.
sense. So
Wait,
he's pulling.
we're all about etymology. You know what? Professor Tolkien was all about, like, creating new languages and the etymology of words and the history of language. So it is suitable for us to be parsing the details of language on a show such as this. Mr. Justin.
Guys, like, look at this place. There's so much room for fun and games, and when we get this dialed in, this is going to be amazing. So that's why you don't see the graphics below us. You don't see the text scrolling overhead right now. No one knows what the phone number is to call.
That's why I want to remind the audience at home, as always, this is a live stream audience participation show. We're bringing it live to you because you're contributing live with us.
Torn belongs here. Torn belongs here.
Yes,
Thank
Torn
you for the
belongs
text.
here. Yes, thank you for the text.
So the phone number.
The phone number is 530 area code 530 number 6 number 4 FRODO 530-64 Frodo
64 FRODO, which turns into 643-7636.
It does. 530-64 Frodo.
643-7636. That's the Torn hotline. You can FaceTime me. You can call. You can text us. Text us is the
beyond
best.
cool.
Because we get everything.
Now, because
on the text.
now think about the next step. Not only do we get to have people be part of the show virtually on Facebook and on the live feed with Twitter Live, Periscope Live, and Ustream Live, and we're also going to have telephone calls and Skype calls coming in. We have a special camera designated to put full screen Skype video. So be forewarned, when you guys are going to Skype in and be on the show, everything that is behind you in your living room or dormitory or parlor, wherever you Skype from, we're going to see you and everything full screen. It's very exciting.
Well, let's try it out right now then.
I want to try it. I really want to try this. This is so cool.
Well, before we call, we got to call on the hotline. Hi, who's calling?
Howdy, howdy.
Hi, who's calling?
It's Calasuri.
Hey, Calasuri, how's it going?
Well, hello there, brother. How are you?
Good, good. How you guys doing?
We're on top of the moon, dude. Isn't this great?
We have so much space.
I love the space. It looks amazing.
It is. It's really great.
It is amazing. We've been here post screening of Star Wars and other movies. It's just down the street from the Chinese theater and walking distance.
And it's so exciting because we have an opportunity now to have more live events and have more participation from the audience. It's really invigorating, especially because, you know, our time is now.
I'm out there April 21st. Come on, let's do it.
April 21st, you'll be in town.
We're here.
We're coming here for sure. We're inviting everybody that's watching live right now. If you want to meet Calasuri, Cliff, Justin, and everybody else, come here on the
live.
21st of April.
Yep, better believe it. It'll be worth the trip, Chris.
It'll be what?
It'll be worth the trip, Chris.
Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I can't wait.
Yeah, we're really excited
I love it in there.
We're really excited about this place. It looks good, and there's so much room, and we hope we can get some of our old friends back in the game here and joining us now that we can space out and walk around and jump around and play games.
It's a perfect place to interview people from, right here.
It's awesome. I need some of those fries. Think you can arrange for them to FedEx over to the East Coast?
We will. Well,
yes, we will call. Do you want the Twin Sun tacos as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Twin Sun tacos.
The menu here is amazing. They've got Rocket and Groot's garden tray, the Falcon burger. It's amazing. Wait till you get here, Chris. You'll be geeked out totally.
Super good.
Oh, call in. Good job, guys. Catch you soon.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Calisuri. Awesome.
Man, it's always great to hear from our fearless leader and
Yes.
co-founder of the website, and it's just this place is looking cool.
This is so cool.
You're excited. You've taken off your hat. You're so excited.
I'm telling you, well, I mean, it's going to come off and on. I'm going to have some fun with this hat today. This is just a last-minute thought, my Lord of the Rings hat. But yeah, I just, shaved my head, and it feels all nice and smooth. Smooth as a baby's bottom.
I don't need to know
shaved
that.
all that.
So
that's because you need to start shaving up here, Justin.
No,
you really
no,
do.
no,
Yes, you
no,
do.
I
It's
got
time to
hats.
start shaving.
Hey, let's go to this camera. Let's go to this camera over here. What is it? Camera 2? Camera 2? I'm still getting used to this. And
Camera 2. Now, this view gives you like a look at this really great designed
and it puts us right where
pipe
the
work and-
Skype machine is. So let's try to Skype our
This is
old
what you call like
co-host.
art direction. This is like used to be called art department, but in the movies it's art department, art direction.
Hey, it
Wait.
looks like we got Skype on the line.
Hello,
Well, hey,
hello. Hey,
Hi.
everybody.
Hey.
There's a whole bunch of people there.
Yeah, there is.
Hey,
Oh my
Hannah,
God.
is that you, Hannah? I can see you a little bit on the edge of the screen. Hannah, you might need to move in a little bit inward because I can only see half of your face.
Yeah, we can only see the Com Twist logo.
Can you zoom out your camera just a little bit?
No, it is on the edge. Yeah, there we go. Okay,
Hey.
there we go.
All right, let's go to our
It's
Skype
cool.
cam. Watch how fancy this is.
This is so cool.
Aren't we fancy?
There we go. There we are. Sorry.
Everybody,
There we go.
hey, it's so good to have you
Perfect.
on board.
Wonderful.
Hi.
Hi.
All right,
Hey.
Look at
Hannah.
this camera.
You have so many guests. Who are these wonderful people?
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Matthew Abeles, and yeah.
Tell them your major.
It's not our school.
Oh,
Hey.
okay.
Okay.
Well, my name is Trinity Darling. Hi.
Hi there. Hi,
And I'm
Trinity.
Natalie Quinones. Hi.
I study theater.
I also study theater.
I'm actually studying digital media, filmmaking precisely.
So this is like digital Glee Club.
Pardon?
This is like Glee Club.
Exactly. That's exactly what we are. We're Glee.
Digital,
Yeah, that's our
digital
school.
Glee Club. Mr. Justin, it is invigorating to have not just this new environment around us, but to have these beautiful new faces come to talk with us. Who here, raise your hand first, has a preference for either the Lord of the Rings trilogy or the Hobbit films? Raise your hand. Which one do you like best? If you like Lord of the Rings, Hannah,
Oh,
you're under scrutiny
okay,
for
you
this.
see.
This is my first test of geekdom, is to find out which set of movies you like best.
Well, I mean, have you? What is your? How familiar are you guys like with just Lord of the Rings or the
Oh, I
Hobbit?
love Lord of the Rings. I've seen all the movies and I have them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan, but I'm not I haven't gone on like any shows for it specifically. Yeah.
I know close to nothing, but I've seen one of the movies and I liked it. I like Smeagol.
Yeah. I saw the 70s animated version, and then I think I've seen Fellowship of the Ring in its entirety, but in like separate chunks. But I've seen it. As for the Two Towers and Return of the King, I only saw like certain bits of it because my dad, he was really the one who loved Lord of the Rings, and he actually had the full movie set except for The Hobbit because it was before it came out. So he had that, and we would watch that every time we'd have like a giant sleepover. And because he knew that we, as little kids, we had a very short attention span, he would show us just the big parts of the story. I barely remember a lot from the old, from the Peter Jackson trilogy, like the original. But I just know that I did like it a lot. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, that cartoon from the 70s is crazy pants. It really is crazy
We
pants.
have people in the chat room saying that they know closer to nothing than you guys. So you guys are ahead of the game when it comes to.
Wow.
Okay,
Perfect.
cool.
There
Amen.
you go. We're all equals.
Nice.
So
There you
Hannah,
go.
why'd you bring them on?
Pardon?
Why did you have your special guest today?
Why did I have my special guest today? Well, I mean, they all bring. Okay. They all have distinct personalities that would fit well with the show, and they're good people. So.
Oh, thank you.
I feel flattered.
Dude, that's awesome. You're all welcome. You guys are all welcome here anytime. You're welcome virtually, and now we have a space like for a physical audience. You're welcome here anytime. We're going to have a lot of crazy good shows in the near future, and you are all very welcome to the family. Welcome aboard.
Wow,
Thank
thanks.
you.
I feel so honored.
Yeah, me too.
Well, not yet. Watch out for, bad jokes from this one and, bad movie reviews from this one.
I'm bickering between the two. It's great. I see you.
So you guys have heard that Amazon is doing a Lord of the Rings series?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, Amazon is producing the Lord of the Rings series, which is like a series.
That's awesome.
Mega series, multi-season.
I'll watch that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
just out of curiosity, like when you watch a show, just any show in general, what do you guys look for? What would compel you guys to watch that kind of show?
Definitely the acting, the writing, and it has to be visually pleasing and artistically driven because I like to be impressed.
See, like with me, I also have a very short attention span. And so like I like things to be really fast paced and colorful. And also I look for like characters in general.
Yeah.
Like this show that I love it so much. It's called Shameless. It's very popular. And like I was telling them before the show even started, the first episode of Shameless is like, it feels like 5 episodes in the same episode because it's so crazy. Because you find out how everyone thinks, each character has their own little story. And like, so yeah, basically for me, it's just the characters. If they're interesting or like kind of crazy.
Character development.
Yeah. If they establish that like at the very beginning, I'm already hooked. So, like,
okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same boat. I guess a good example I could use is a cartoon called Steven Universe. I was immediately drawn into that show. The first episode I saw, and it wasn't even a story-driven episode. It was mostly character development. But as soon as I saw it, like as soon as it finished, I was like, oh my gosh, I underestimated the show. I love it. So that's pretty much what I've been looking for in a lot of shows, and not just animated either. Live action as well. My sister, she's getting me into Supernatural. I really want to try and finish it.
Oh man, you don't know what you're getting into.
That's a hard one.
That's a commitment.
I love Steven Universe and I love Shameless. They're completely different shows, but both of them are driven by strong characters, and there's really interesting, intimate things between them that are going on, and that's proof. It doesn't matter if it's animation or live action, it's in the writing. It has to be good, really well-written characters. We're all agreeing on that. You guys, I'm loving this. We're like, what Amazon has to do, now that they've spent $250 million on going to make this Lord of the Rings out-of-the-box anthology series, they have to capture the audience that has been there all along from the 60s and 70s, and now they're going to capture the new audience, where you guys are coming from, and they've got a lot to think about before they put the show together, and we are going to be exploring all of this in future conversations during this show, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to some of the creatives who are behind the camera working on that show as it gets into production, and we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about going forward.
Would you guys like to work on the show?
Yeah.
Or is that a beyond, like, do you guys want to work in stage theater or film or television? What's your focus?
It's not all Rodgers and Hammerstein and Andrew Lloyd Webber. I mean, there are much bigger jobs out there, trust me.
I'll answer that. So, I mean, I don't just do theater. I love doing many different things, and I want to be able to direct one day. And I'm really interested in movement-based theater, but my love for acting started with film, definitely.
Right on.
So I want to do all different kinds of things throughout my life, but like since my life will be so long, I can like focus on different things or go to school for different things at different points in my life. So I definitely want to work on like Oscar-nominated films or Oscar-worthy films, and I'd love to be a part of something like Lord of the Rings.
Awesome.
Yeah, see, for me, I really want to be like part of like TV stuff and film stuff for sure. Like theater was my way to actually just practice acting in general. But my main goal is to be just like on TV screens and like movie screens and all that, because I really like movies for sure, like a lot. So.
Yeah, my whole drive is animation. I'm a huge animation freak. I love cartoons.
Totally.
I have plans. I say plans. They're mostly goals and dreams. To make my own cartoons, hopefully produce them in big networks such as Cartoon Network, maybe Disney Channel, or even like self-publish them, maybe something on YouTube, or reach out to Netflix even, because I don't know, they seem like very open-minded places where I could probably have a lot of creative freedom.
Absolutely. How cool. You guys,
You guys
like,
already know
I'm
my
so
answer.
down.
As I've stated like 10,000 times.
Hannah, the Silmarillion, it's all yours.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, the cool thing is that they're going to be doing Lord of the Rings for the next 5-7 years. Like, think of where you want to be in 2025. Can you imagine working on Lord of the Rings? Like, you can be getting college credit, course credit as an assistant director as part of the unions. So you could actually be working on these shows in the next few years. Like, are you prepared to do that? Is that what you want to do?
Oh, can I answer that? I'm sorry. I think that would be a great start, honestly. I think that it would be a good idea, a good opportunity to get some experience. Anyone else?
I love Lord of the Rings, so yeah, that would be amazing. I would definitely want to be in film by the time of 2025.
Sure. Yeah, I would just like to work anywhere, and I feel like with Lord of the Rings, especially since it's already like really established, it'd be a great experience. It's like working with all the people, and there's so many layers to one of the movies. So like, I feel like I'd learn a lot just being there. Yeah.
Imagine going off to some crazy places. You know where they shoot Game of Thrones? They go to Iceland, they go to Ireland, they go to places around Spain, and famously, the Lord of the Rings movies and The Hobbit shot in New Zealand, which is even where Ava DuVernay filmed A Wrinkle in Time in all over New Zealand, in some of the same locations where Lord of the Rings was photographed. And hey, did you guys see A Wrinkle in Oprah? Have you seen that yet? It's a new movie that is out. Have you heard of it? And,
I have.
well,
I
got
have
one
not.
little laugh from someone. Thank you for that. I got one. I'm sorry. It's a show of bad jokes. It happens from time to time. No, but have you seen A Wrinkle in Time yet?
You missed the joke, so it's cool.
Oh, A Wrinkle in Oprah, is that what you said? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught it, but like I was like, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
That's
I'm sorry.
I guess it wasn't
Sorry.
funny enough.
Oh my God.
All right, my question is,
I'm just joking.
He's sad.
later this year, Hannah is going to New Zealand. What would you tell
Oh
her?
my
God,
that's
awesome.
What would you tell her if you had to tell her to do something, film something, make something? What should she do in New Zealand?
Yes, I'm all ears for.
Oh man. Oh,
Some kind of a short film.
say.
Film, I would film, if I were you, I would like, I don't know, I would write something and on that location in New Zealand, I would like use that to the best of my ability by like filming something that's so true to who I am and like something that's artistic and that hasn't been done before.
I'd say take advantage of the scenery.
Yeah.
Try and fit as much of it in your film, if it has any direction, as much as you can, because like, when are you gonna get another chance like that, especially at this age? You know,
Yeah, especially.
Yeah.
I would do photo shoots too.
Know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Photo shoots,
Definitely.
I will tell you that a few years ago, a YouTuber or a guy went to New Zealand and retraced all of the steps of Frodo and Sam as much as he could and filmed the whole way.
Yeah.
He walked the journey.
There was
Super
another
fun.
girl who like took all the pictures, like just pictures in the exact same spot, and position that some of the characters did, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw something on
There's
that.
been a few people, but there was this one guy that like actually made a video like he was Frodo and Sam, you know, walking along the whole thing. He works at Warner Brothers now, and he's actually
wow.
making stuff. So this is on you, Hannah. This is your ticket. You could get a job from this trip.
Yeah.
Oh, they already know you because we went. So
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, Hannah, I mean, when you get down there, I've been there many times. It's heaven on earth, and everywhere you point your camera is perfection. Everywhere you look, it's just stunning, and you will be inspired when you are there. It'll come to you. Your muse will come to you, I promise.
I know for a fact 3 key points where I'm gonna cry is when I step off the plane, go into Hobbiton, and then what a workshop. Oh, dude, like, just yeah, I'm gonna like cry. Been waiting 6 years.
Wow.
6, 7 maybe this year. I don't know.
So
But a long time. That's the point.
What month are you going? What month?
Pardon?
What month are you going?
When am I going?
Yes, what month? Specifically when?
Oh, okay. So I'm going like 2 days after I graduate.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's
it's
really-
like
It's right there.
Your friends are
yeah,
jealous
and then
right now.
we're coming back on the 11th of July. Yeah, I was gonna say January. I don't know why, but I was gonna say January. But July 11th is when I'm gonna come back, and then we have a week off to rest, and then Comic-Con. So yeah,
Oh,
jam packed, and
That's
plus I
awesome.
become an adult
Well,
that month
take-
too. So
Take a warm sweater because our summer is their winter time. So it'll be cold.
Oh, that's true. That sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's very exciting, though. I'm jealous.
So one of the other things I wanted to talk is, look, I'm trying to get 50,000 followers on Instagram, and I just can't get there. Can you guys help me out? Like, do you guys have any tips of like getting my Insta numbers up?
I don't know. I can't answer that. They're the masters at it. So
I'm not the
What
master.
are you posting?
I'm posting like Lord of the Rings memes and stuff like that, but I just like I can't get past 50.
Use a good enough amount of tags. You know.
Yeah,
because
hashtags are important, and like you update them like every week.
Post regularly.
Oh
What do
yeah.
you mean
also
update them? To explain that.
Updating the hashtags.
Yeah.
Oh, so the only reason I know that is because I have a friend who sells clothing on Depop, and when you sell clothes on Depop, you add hashtags so people like buy your clothes, and you have to update them each week. And so I think it's the same thing with Instagram, because that's another social media thing that you can use to get people to buy things from your business or whatever it is that you're trying to get followers for. So yeah, I think it attracts more people when you like put a variety of different hashtags on there.
Wait,
Oh,
so
yeah,
you're
yeah,
editing the
especially-
post? Sorry. Like you actually
No, that's
edit,
okay.
You actually
I
edit
was-
the post, or you like repost it with new tags?
No, you just you like go to the edit button, and then you just press edit, and then you like delete the hashtags you had before, and then you add new ones. It's the same post though.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, make sure to use very subjective words, like something very general. I meant to say, so like for example, if anything that your post has to do with like the color green, just put green on there, and I'm pretty sure like thousands of people will see it.
Yeah.
Really? Like really just like put color, like hashtag the color?
Like,
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
like look at your picture and think of as many ways to describe it as possible.
Mhm.
Right? Like every single detail, just add a hashtag for it. Hashtag green, hashtag blue, hashtag Lord of the Rings, hashtag Tolkien, like all that.
Yeah, or for
Hashtag
example,
movies,
you guys
you know.
talk about Elijah Wood a lot, I'm assuming. So if he's like in an upcoming movie, or Ian McKellen is in an upcoming movie, then you can put Ian McKellen upcoming movie, and then like they can like people probably look that up if they're fans of that actor, and like that movie's coming out, so they're gonna look up for photos of that, and then you will pop up.
Exactly.
Wow, I'm learning stuff already. Like
Absolutely. It is a lot. There's a lot of extra work, and you have to think outside the box, like you were saying. Somebody's subjective viewpoint of what that image is about, and you use that index tag. People will reference it, and they will find it, even though you weren't originally thinking that your picture was about that.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get that.
All right.
Yeah.
So
He
if
gets
someone
it.
in the
Get
chat,
it.
if someone in the chat room
Thank
on
you, by the way,
Facebook
for
or
that.
something can write all these down. You guys, we're
Remember.
Take notes. Take notes. Hurry.
we're a
I'm
Lord of the
counting on
Rings
you.
channel. So what are some tags we should always be using on our Lord of the Rings Instagram posts? Let's just spitball a bunch of tags.
Yeah.
Movies 2018, something like that, maybe.
Like I don't know.
Middle Earth.
Oops. Sorry.
No.
It's okay.
I don't know. Hashtag Hobbit.
Hobbits.
Hashtag Tolkien.
Books.
Hashtag books. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Hashtag movies. Hashtag green, because it looks like there's a lot of green in everything.
Mhm.
Hashtag
I mean, whatever word that can describe the world of Lord of the Rings, like magic or wizard or like whatever, like certain vocabulary that.
hashtag you shall not pass. That'll work too. For sure. That'll get a lot of people.
Fantasy. Fantasy, science fiction.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, genres are good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
genres. Yeah,
Sure.
genres.
Exactly. And
In
just
fact,
flood it.
Right there. The word
With so
genre
many-
fiction is a good tag. Genre fiction.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes.
the One Ring has not started a Snapchat. Do you think that we're you know, the books are 80 years old. Like, is Tolkien too old for Snapchat?
Well, the problem is the Snapchat audience is still angry at the latest update and the features being changed. So Snapchat lost a lot of its loyalty audience.
Now's the time for us to join, since we have no legacy.
I don't use Snapchat. I mean, Instagram basically has the same thing except without the faces.
What does Instagram does?
Yeah, I mean, you can send videos and messages to people like Snapchat does, except Snapchat can, like, it includes FaceTime and, like, weird faces that you can put on yourself. But, like, that's it. I don't have it. So.
What if we started a Snapchat that was the One Ring, like in the voice of the One Ring? It's like the One Ring living in the modern world. Like, would that not cool?
Oh no!
I think if you market it right,
Yeah.
like if you, I don't know, if you know your audience, if you know that they're gonna be interested in watching a story on Snapchat of the One Ring, if you know you have an audience, then of course it'll work out.
Yeah.
I think also, like, what can get you, like, more followers on Instagram, I've realized is, what are they looking at?
I think it's just technical stuff.
Oh, okay. I think another great way is what I've noticed is creating things instead of just like posting about something that's already created and isn't your own work. But, like, for example, you guys are all about Lord of the Rings, but maybe like you guys can create like a little 2-minute film or whatever about it, and you guys can like post that or say, oh, here's a link to my video on YouTube, and like watch it. And yeah.
That's exactly what like Jake Paul does and stuff. Like, check out the full video on Insta.
Justin.
What?
Oh no.
Very
Oh,
controversial
That is
character.
a name that I never want mentioned on my show ever again.
We should
Please.
get him on the show and talk Tolkien in a bar and get him. Never
Oh my
mind.
God, no.
Never mind.
No.
Hey, I think there's a 20 hashtag limit on Instagram. So are you supposed to put more hashtags in the comments? Like, are you supposed to comment on your own thing?
Not in the comments, no, that won't work.
Mhm.
So yeah, just use your 20 hashtags wisely.
Yeah.
And then update them every week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's right. I get that. I'm hearing you. I get it. I get this. We also should put some of our friends, Hannah, looking at you, Hannah. We should put some of our friends in some Instagram stories that are like little comedy bits, you know, that involve cosplay, you know, like underneath an orc mask or a Legolas outfit. And we might do some, wait, I'm talking sketch comedy. We should do some funny bits. Don't you think? Some sketch comedy with some goofy
like
characters.
a 1 minute sketch comedy that you could post on your story, but also on like Instagram or social media.
Well, I would be willing to brainstorm ideas with you about that.
Wait, I got an idea.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Could you guys help Hannah create One Ring Instagram stories?
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Why
I'd love to
not?
write, definitely. I don't know if I can't act, but
But
you know.
but you can animate and you can design
I know that part.
characters. Maybe you could include some cutout animations or something interesting. I'm brainstorming ideas.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, maybe some interesting animatics
Yeah,
or
we're good at that.
little tiny,
Yeah, you did it for
Some
one of
little
our
tiny
shows.
bits.
little bits.
You know, one of our favorite guests that we've had on the show multiple times is a girl named Noelle. She went to art school, and then she graduated art school, and then she moved out here to LA and stayed with a friend. And within 2 years of graduating school, she created Nimona, and now she's rebooting She-Ra. She's the showrunner for the reboot of She-Ra.
Oh, she is.
Dang,
And
that's
Yeah,
really cool.
Shira is like this is
Yeah, it's a cartoon in the 80s. It was like directed. Well, He-Man was directed for boys, but
I know He-Man.
She-Ra.
Yeah,
was
She-Ra
aimed for
was
girls.
the same thing
Yeah.
for girls. Yeah.
The girl
Yeah.
toys
I didn't-
version of He-Man. Yeah.
Good for Noelle.
She was like, when she first moved to LA, we were one of the first podcasts that she came on, and now she's like actually doing TV shows, and she was famous for doing that famous Tumblr Broship of the Ring, where all the characters look like hipsters.
Yeah, that's where I found her.
That's cool.
That was very
Just look up like Lord of the Rings fan art, and bam, there you go. That like hers is one of the first to come up.
Oh wow! I'll be sure to.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
Really
cool.
cool.
There are career paths through the Lord of the Rings fandom. Well, look, Hannah, did you have any other questions for your special guest as the host with the most?
With the host with the most. I'm not a ghost though. I don't know. I mean,
What do you mean?
well, hey,
You're literally a host.
you're the ghost. You're the ghost. Okay. Okay. Aren't you Justin's ghost?
Is this an inside joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aren't you Justin's ghost?
No,
I'm not.
I'm not a ghost. I'm just a host.
You're just a host. Okay. I guess the only question that I would have is, Tolkien in general is kind of a hard, complex world to get into, and his writings are a bit hard. I mean, depending on the person, but what would get you interested, or like what kind of themes or what kind of characters would get you invested into the world and read the books and watch the movies, that kind of thing?
Characters that are relatable,
Mhm.
that are kind of like, I don't know, a diverse group of actors, like, I don't know, like different ethnicities and just things that people can relate to.
I don't know. I really like crazy characters.
Okay.
Is there some crazy people in The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings?
Well, it depends on what you define on crazy. Like crazy or crazy.
well, especially
Is there some
Smeagol.
All the types, all of them.
Oh, then you're gonna love Denethor the Second, man.
Oh my.
All right, I'll remember that name.
Denethor.
I think the craziest part,
I see you guys. You're like, ah. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. I'm already actually kind of pretty invested. What is it? One of my favorite TV show hosts, I guess, Stephen Colbert. He's mentioned Tolkien on his show thousands of times, and I'm like, dude, the way he talks about it, it's amazing. And I'm like, I want to get into that because that just sounds like such a cool world to get into. And the fact that it's survived for so long is really interesting. And I can't believe that I've never really grown up actually watching the movies and being invested in it as much as, say, like Star Wars or something. So I really want to get into it as soon as possible. I just don't have the time. So I'm just like, oh man, these 2-hour movies.
But if you really love something, you make time.
That's true.
That's the thing.
A good way, I mean, speaking from experience, a good way to get somebody really invested or just wanting to watch it more is like a marathon, which is really long. I know it's really long, but of the extended from The Hobbit, all 3 parts, and then, break, and then Lord of the Rings. It takes, What?
It's the only way to watch it.
Yeah, it is the only way to watch it. It's great because you have food, you got friends, you lay there for like literally 24 hours if you're taking breaks, that kind of a thing. You just kind of go, I've done that twice, and like it drains the life out of you. Actually, I had to take school pictures after the day after that, so that was kind of fun.
That's funny.
Oh man, I can set aside a day for that then.
I'd love to see like Lord of the Rings become as big as Star Wars because I actually personally I like it a lot more.
I think Lord of the Rings is as big as Star Wars. What do you think?
Really?
I mean, it's already the fandom's already as divisive. Yeah, as it already is with the newest movie that came out. So, I mean, who knows?
Let me ask you this, Hannah. You've brought together a really cool group of people, and everybody always talks about like diversity and everything like that. Tolkien wrote these books 80 years ago. The Hobbit had no women in it, and they created one woman character for the Hobbit movies, and a lot of people hated it. Not everyone hated it, but a lot of people were like, this isn't true. Like, should the new Lord of the Rings series on Amazon have a little more diversity than the books ever did?
Can I take this one? one?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I think they absolutely can. Like, if they fit with the times, that's how they're going to get more people. But they have to make sure not to make it forced. Because when it's forced, it's hard to watch, and it's awkward and all that. Like, as long as they, like, keep it modern and as true to the story as possible, they're still going to have their original fans, but also earning more modern, more, I don't know, a new following. I think it'll only benefit them.
Yeah, because I mean, the only way to keep something new and fresh is to keep it fresh, to change it up a little bit. I would definitely I think that my sister would definitely be into something like Lord of the Rings if there was a lot more diversity in it, if it was added into it. You know what I mean? Like more female characters, maybe LGBTQ, maybe more like people of color, something like that. Personally, I wouldn't care because I still want to get into it either way. But I think it would. Yeah, I definitely think it would benefit the series as a whole.
I mean, what do you guys think? Like, what if they went the route of Star Wars, right, where the main protagonist is a girl, whereas for the last 80 years, the Lord of the Rings has been led by Frodo and Bilbo, two white little hobbits. Like, what if they switched it up and the main character is a female hobbit on an adventure? Like, do you think like it would get even more negative reaction that the Star Wars got?
Ooh. Okay, I just want to say my piece real quick. It depends on what they do exactly, and if it's for the duration of all the seasons, because you could potentially have them exploring what happened, like with the twins and their mother. So if they showed like a younger Arwen and then her mom, and then Eladin and Irofor, it could work in that kind of a sense, where maybe it could be an elf kind of like Toriel, but no awkward love triangle because that was terrible. But I'm sorry, Fran and Philippa, if you're watching. Very sorry. It was
I like where you're going with that, Hannah, but how about another layer of an idea for a strong female character? Maybe she could have one full season, and maybe some male characters could have other full seasons. It's hopefully going to be an anthology where they switch out different stories every year. But
yeah, that's what I was
here's
thinking,
one that I really like to see: the story of Aragorn's mother. Aragorn's mom had a tough time, and all she wanted to do was save her son and take him away from the people who would kill him if they knew who he really was. And, you know, we do see her gravestone in the Fellowship of the Ring movie. There's Viggo Mortensen gently touching his mom's grave. Why don't we investigate that character? Because she sacrificed a lot, you know?
Yeah, she's a very strong, you know, woman character, and if you explore that, then, you know, there you go. So, yeah.
That's an idea.
But yeah, I think that's a good point, because even with like the show on Netflix, Black Mirror, each episode is a different story and they have a different protagonist, but like it's all like the same message that they're sending across, how technology will like take over. And so like, I mean, the season can be like all about Lord of the Rings and it can all connect, but like one episode can be an hour long and it can be around a female protagonist. And I think that would be great. I don't think that would make people mad. They can get over one episode, you know?
My favorite Black Mirror episode is San Junipero. It's like awesome. I love that show.
Yeah, it's good.
It's really good. Really good.
Hannah, you're the host. What other questions do you have for your special guests?
Oh, you're really nailing me today, aren't you?
This is your learning curve today.
Pardon?
This is your learning curve.
It's my learning curve today. Hold on.
You
I
can
had
assign
like
them you can assign one of them to be the host. Like, who wants to be the guest host right now?
Huh?
Who wants to be the guest host right now?
The guest host.
Guest host.
Guest host.
I'm not.
I can do it.
All right, go ahead.
Go for it.
Go
Go
ahead.
to the chat. No.
Yeah.
Just ask anything, or
Yeah.
it has to do with Lord of the Rings or just film in general.
Anything.
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 Oh, wow, okay.
Anything.
Oh well, okay.
Lots of power.
You don't know what you've done.
Okay, let me think about this.
All right. While you're thinking, let me ask: should Hannah stay in New Zealand until she gets a job at Weta?
Hey, you're just trying to get rid of me. You're just trying to get rid of me.
No.
No.
Well, I'd be out of best friends, so I'm just gonna have to say no. I'd be one short anyway.
I mean, chase your dream, Hannah. If that's where you want to work, and
It is.
then yeah, why not? That's not like a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a
definitely-
good question to go. What is your number one ultimate professional dream? Let's go down the line.
Oh, okay. Do you wanna
Okay,
go?
Question.
No, yeah. We'll start with Nayeli.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Perpetual dream or whatever. I don't know. I think the biggest dream I've ever had was to be a director for animated films. I've been in love with cartoons ever since I was like 2. My earliest memory was like sitting in a high chair with Fruit Loops and watching Finding Nemo. So, you know, that's like, cartoons have been my life, animation. So getting a career in that, in any company, whatever it may be, would be the best thing for me, honestly.
I have a lot of career plans that I want to do, but my biggest thing is I just want to be an actress. You know, I want to make art, and I want to make films, and I want to be on TV. And I just love talking to people, and I feel like acting brings people together in a way. And so like, yeah, my biggest goal and dream is just to be an actress and just like be able to connect with people in that way.
I think my biggest dream and something that I'm planning a lot to do after college is I want to kind of like change the film industry like in a way, because I want to introduce a new kind of like what film can be, and I want to make films that are sort of like silent films, but so like it would just all be like visuals, and you would learn the whole story through the visuals, and there would be a script, but it's not spoken. And I would want there to be a score written for the film, and get great actors for it. And I want it to like make people like cry in their seats or like laugh super hard, and like everyone in the audience would just like understand it without having to think hard about it. And I think movement and the way people's bodies move, like it's so powerful. And I've learned that in theater. And when I did an acting program at Northwestern University over the summer, like my main theme for this past summer was touch. So I want to do something with movement and acting and visuals, because I think that's where I'm strongest.
Powerful.
Last one.
Last one, Hannah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I've said it a lot on my on the show, but my ultimate goal is to become a director and direct mainly fantasy movies, like, and psychological horror movies as well.
Oh yes, I love those.
Yeah,
so good.
I want to work with Weta and just work with my mentor already, Richard Taylor, because he's somebody who really inspires me. He also has the same learning disorder as I do, but I'd really like to do that and kind of become like a role model for other like younger girls that want to become directors, because when I was growing up, I didn't know of any film directors that were, women. I mean, now I know that there's a lot, but I mean, when I was little, I thought that I was, really the only girl that wanted to become a director, who was a director, because everybody knows who Steven Spielberg is, but, if you go, oh yeah, Patty Jenkins or, Greta Gerwig, yeah, not a lot of people know who those women are unless they're really invested in the film. And I want to become a Steven Spielberg household name.
Wow. Yeah,
and
a good dream.
Yeah, I mean, shed some light on some important issues that that personally touched me as well. Like mental health, or like minority, female and racial. I mean, I'm biracial, but that kind of stuff never really gets talked about in film, and nonetheless in fantasy. So I think it's important.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's important to show that that kind of concept can travel in different various genres. I mean, we're starting to see more so of it in science fiction, like how Jodie Whittaker is being the doctor, the 13th Doctor. Yes. So we're getting that, and then I'm like thirsty. And then in Star Trek, like they're becoming more diverse as well. Definitely. I mean, I don't watch Star Trek, but from what I hear from people, then they're becoming way more diverse,
Yeah.
So, I mean, also with creations like, our good friend Sebastian Niobe, stuff like that needs to be told as well, which, I mean, he's, but he's coming out with the second issue, or it is out, I think. But anyway,
this is
that kind of stuff just doesn't get represented too much in fantasy, and I would like to be the main driving point of that.
Fantasy used to be like my biggest obsession.
Well, Cliff, you've been privileged enough to make movies, make shows, get awards. You've been to many awards. Cliff was even in the Lord of the Rings. You can see him.
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
Yeah, I can point him out too.
Wait, wait.
Yo, he was like,
I'm the guy standing on the side of the castle going, that's me.
yeah, no, exactly like that too.
Wait, really? He was?
No,
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Wow.
He's really in it. He's really in it.
Yeah,
So Cliff, you've heard what they want to do. All of you are in high school, right? You guys are all graduating this year?
Yes.
Yeah, all
we are.
seniors.
So Cliff, what would you say, just getting out of high school, this is what they want to do, how should they, what's their next step?
Wow, okay, as if I were qualified to give this kind of advice, I'll do my best. Thank you, I'll do my best. I am very encouraged, really, to hear that kind of clear-eyed and clear thought coming from all of you. And Hannah, I've known you long enough to know that you're anything, if you're anything, you're consistent. And I love that quality about you. And that's the most important thing, is to be consistent with your own vision and keep going, and to always keep going. And believe it or not, in a town like Los Angeles, and with the kind of economy that we have in this country, and with the technology changing, it changes our lives, and the technology is changing the way we consume media and shows and entertainment. Everything is changing, and you guys have given us a very interesting crash course on how we have to keep going with this kind of technology to bring ourselves up to speed with the stories that we want to tell, because the audience is faster and way ahead of us most of the time. So I always recommend to be clear in your thought and to keep going no matter what. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people in this town who will want to collaborate with you and work with you. And when you are in that magic spot of getting to collaborate with really talented people, like all four of you sitting next to each other, you are always within arm's reach of extremely beautifully talented people who will want to be with you on a project and go all the way to execute that project to its end result. And it's really a good time to be alive in the creative arts, because we now have the benefit of our awareness of the issues of representation, and the awareness of how powerful our storytelling really is to people and how we respond. And at least I know you guys are taking it seriously. I can tell that you are, and that's a good sign. That's a very good sign.
The thing I would say is the best project you can do is the one that you can do together.
Yep.
And
yes,
Hollywood entertainment is not made in a vacuum, and the best projects that people receive well are the ones that were made by friends. Ringers did not, your movie that won all the awards and sold to Sony, it was made with your friends. Like, you didn't go hire anybody or anything. Like, it was just like, hey, let's just start doing this.
No, it was made with the support of people who wanted to be part of it and come together and have that relationship where they would really give up a lot of their own individual time and a lot of their individual effort to make sure the project came together no matter what. And it does start with family in a weird way. You know what they say, when you work on a movie project, Hannah, when you get involved and you as a director have to govern all these different resources and different talent that is around you, it's like building like a marriage or a family where everybody's intimately really involved, and it's a lot to handle. It's a big responsibility, and it's worth it. It's so worth it. You know what else? There's another thing I've discovered. If you have the passion and you're convinced really that you've got what it takes to make something happen, somebody in this town is going to write you a big fat check and say, yeah, that's a great movie. Go make it. That's a great show. Go produce that show. Make that live. Make it happen. If you convince anybody in this town to support you, you can make things happen. Like the producers, okay? Like, go back to Mel Brooks's The Producers. Like, it's really true. It's true.
But it's not just that. You might get the check, or you might get the check, or you don't know which one of you is going to break big. And Richard Taylor and Peter Jackson have worked on all their movies together because they're best friends. And
exactly.
You know, and when we talked to the visual effects supervisor of Lord of the Rings, he said he actively tried to hire uber fans of Lord of the Rings. He's like, I'm going to get my best work out of fans and friends of friends. And if you look at all the credits on IMDb, Spielberg works with the same crew, his entire crew. Every movie has the same editor. Every movie has John Williams. It's not because the studio put them together. It's because they became friends and they just started doing it. So I guess the big secret of Hollywood is just you guys just start doing you, and one of your projects is going to take off, or one of you individually is going to take off. And when one of you takes off, you have the power to bring people with your friends with you.
To uplift, you have the power. It's really true. You have the power to uplift a lot of other people at the same time that you're uplifting yourself. It's kind of cool and weird that way. But that's how this town works. I've discovered I could never have made my little independent documentary film without theonering.net and this massive community of Lord of the Rings fans who respond to each other, even though they're at different ages. Some of them are from Democrats, some are Republicans. They don't care.
Some of them have gray hair.
Some of them they're all different people around the world, and they really do come together with their love, the same common denominator of these stories. And I've been lucky to have a lot of support from that community. And I'm going to say thank you. I know we both really appreciate you being on our show. And Hannah, thank you for coordinating bringing these luminous young people onto our show today. That's excellent. I really appreciate that.
My fault.
This is the best set that Hannah's ever built for this show. So
The only one too.
It
I mean, unless you count me kind of just spinning around in my chair on Skype. Okay. All right. I mean, other than that, you know.
Well, thank you guys for coming and joining the show. Did you have any final thoughts on Lord of the Rings and fandom and anything?
Anything pop culture that you think is the next wave? Anything you want to add?
It's a loaded question.
I mean,
this is it. Final thoughts on our show.
I don't know if this is like realistic or if this would even work well with Lord of the Rings, but like I'm a big fan of psychological thrillers or stuff like things like Mother and Black Swan, and I don't know, it would be cool if I saw like a dark side of Lord of the Rings, you know?
Oh, there is a dark side.
Yeah.
Like a darker side.
It's pretty dark.
It's really
like, from
dark.
what I hear, I don't know. Like I don't know. From what I've seen, I know that this trilogy right here is a lot darker than what this came out to be.
Okay. If you think that's darker, just wait until you get to this brilliant. It is.
What's that?
It's like the history of Middle Earth and like the creation of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in the movie Mother, like the whole metaphor is like how like it's like for God and Mother Nature, and how people just like destroy Mother Nature and God continues to forgive them, and like that was the metaphor for the movie Mother that just came out with Jennifer Lawrence, and you're just talking about like Mother Nature, right? And so like that would be so cool if like it was like focused on like how we like destroy it.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts. Oh shoot. I just got to get into this way more. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of good stuff. So, you know.
That's all right. Steven Universe fandom it goes deep, and you can get lost in that world.
Yeah, it's true. When I, as a wedding minister, as a wedding officiant on the side, you'd be surprised how many times I have done Steven Universe themed weddings for couples who love Steven Universe. Yeah, it's true. And I've done,
gonna be you.
I see.
True.
You're like,
just as much as I've done Lord of the Rings weddings or Star Wars weddings.
I'm impressed that there's Steven Universe fans that are old enough to marry.
They love it, and there's even Tim Burton's The Corpse Bride weddings. Everybody loves Tim Burton, so yeah, I've done it. But I tell you what, Steven Universe is one of the best things that happened to Cartoon Network in a long time. That's true.
don't worry, Cliff, you're doing another Lord of the Rings wedding. We talked about this.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
We talked about this. Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
All right, guys.
Don't.
It's been great talking to you. I hope we can have you on the show in the future.
Yes.
And geek out a little more.
Thank you for having us.
Maybe
Yes,
next time
exactly.
you come to Hollywood and we can sit in one of our Hobbit hole tables here at the Scum and Villiany Cantina, and we can snack on mushrooms and macaroni and cheese balls.
That sounds good.
Sounds great.
Really good.
All right. Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
That was super awesome.
Wasn't that awesome, guys?
So now we know how our Skype works, how
Yep.
beautifully it is.
Let's
It's a really cool thing that you
Well,
put together here,
you know,
Justin.
I didn't think it would work. We did some
No.
jiggery pokery, as you would say, all around the place.
There's a
And
lot of technical people behind the scenes with you who made this happen, and I got to say thank you to the technical folks.
It's JC. It's JC, man.
JC is the best.
He owns this place. He reached out and invited us little Tolkien fans in. And look, I want people to come here every Tuesday at 5 o'clock and join us and sit in the Hobbit holes in the wall and enjoy a drink or two and some snacks. And this is just a place. And if we get some guests, we know some of the actors have been DMing us on Instagram saying, hey, we want to do your show. So if we can get some of the actors in, you guys can come down to Hollywood and be a part of the audience, ask questions. We've got that camera back there, right? The one that's like pointed at the wall right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So this place opens up a whole new opportunity of fun and engagement with you guys, and
opens
the
up
chat room.
It opens up a whole new tesseract of fifth dimensional transport. I'm sorry.
Stephanie says,
I've been tesserating.
loving the new camera. You guys, if you like what you see, please text us your feedback for this show, 530-643-7636.
For Frodo.
If you're on your iPhone, just spell it out. 530-64.
Frodo, in case you didn't know how to spell it.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's really our phone number. It goes to Cliff and I.
Yes.
So every text message goes to Cliff and I. So you can text us, tell us what you think about the show. Tell us that we need to get our graphics working. Tell us, if the audio sounds good. And we just want to hear from you and get some feedback on
then
this.
we want to elevate it to the next level where we invite you to actually come here physically. We're going to end up doing, God knows, we're going to end up doing Hobbit karaoke at some point. We're going to have delicious food items on this menu. We're going to have drink specials. We're going to have an audience here. And we're going to have a reason to have an audience here because we are going to bring into this environment some of the coolest people to come and be part of our conversation. We've got more Skype, and we've got the ability to Skype you in, even if you can't come across the country.
Hi,
to
who's
be here.
calling?
Hey.
Hi, this is Stephanie from the chat room.
Hey, Stephanie from the chat room. What do you think of our new digs?
Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
What do you think? What do you
I'm
think?
good. I just wanted to call in and say I've watched you guys for years and I absolutely love you. And this is my first time calling in.
Oh, excellent.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah. Love the new place. Like, this is fantastic. And the camera angles are wonderful. And it's going to be awesome.
Are you ever coming to LA so you could be a part of the show?
Yes, it is on my destination list. The last time I was going to come to LA, it was more expensive, so I went to London instead.
Oh, wow.
Well, first-class problems.
Yeah.
Right. But I will definitely be coming out because I want to meet you guys and I want to see a show in person. And Like, I just appreciate spending every Tuesday night with you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, you're the reason we keep doing this show. Like, I feel like we could run out of things to say, but you in the chat room, like, keep the energy going, keep the conversation going. It's wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous.
This is awesome. No, hey, you are beautiful. You are a lurker no more. You're on the show with us. It's beautiful. This is so
I am
good.
not a lurker no more.
Lurker
no,
no
I'm
more.
not.
So, my one question to you, should the Lord of the Rings Amazon series go darker or go lighter?
Ooh.
Oh, I am okay with it going a little darker. I feel like that's a little bit more complicated, and I mean, we can have the light stuff in there because I love a good, story, but I feel like we can definitely do dark because he wasn't all light all the time. So.
Hell no, especially in the Silmarillion, where the stuff is deeply disturbing and tragic almost every page.
Correct, and I'm a crier. I'll admit it.
I know.
So I like to have a good cry. So I'm all about it. Like, tug at my heartstrings and make me I already love everything in this fandom, and so I'm very, very excited to explore more of it.
That's awesome. Cool.
Good stuff.
Thank you for calling. It's great to see your face and hear your voice and not just words on a keyboard.
Yeah. Thanks. I will be calling in again. You guys have a great night.
All right, you too.
Thank you, love. That's awesome. Wow, this is a great show already. This is our first show, and it's already achieved.
We're getting multiple phone calls, multiple Skypes. Chris, thank you for calling in.
Of course, Chris. Look at the time flying like this. It's already 6:20.
It's already 6:20. So, I think as we keep going, I think we're gonna open the doors in future episodes so people can come on in. Man, you won't believe this. It has been ages since we've Skyped with Miss Emily.
Oh, here comes Emily, full on.
Let's do it.
Emily, you know what my first question is going to be.
There she is.
Emily, how late at night are you calling from in the UK?
It's 1:20.
Holy Toledo,
8 past 1.
20 past 1 in the morning.
28 past 1.
It's 1:20 in the morning, and this one wonderful woman is calling us.
Why are you staying up so late?
Because I was playing Town of Salem.
Oh, Town of Salem. Oh, that's fun.
So, we're asking everybody one question. Go ahead.
I went twice as a vampire, once as a serial killer.
Oh, right on.
So, do you want the Lord of the Rings series to go darker or lighter?
Salem. I have no idea.
You're just along for the ride.
Yep.
And who's with you right there? What's their name?
This is Shadow.
Wow.
She's amazing.
It's a huge kitty cat. Huge.
It's been so long since we've chatted with you. It's so wonderful to hear your voice.
It is really good to see you again, Emily, one of our original audience members from 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Wowzer. Well, really, no.
Well, I've been here since we were able to we had the chat room where all of us could put our video in.
Oh yeah, the original days of Stickcam, right?
I came in just before we used Stickcam.
Yeah.
Because I remember you used to have a set in a room, and all your books were lined up in front of it on the table.
Cliff's basement.
That was not Cliff's basement. That was the top floor of Stickcam. That's funny.
Hey, it's great to see you and the kitty. It's been too long. Now that we're set up at the Star Wars Cantina, the Scum and Villiany Cantina. Don't sue us. We can Skype with you much more often now. This is going to be wonderful.
It all depends on when I'm on, and yeah. Unfortunately, I would show you my puppy, but well, she's not so much a puppy. She's a year old now, but she's been relegated to sleeping in the study because the pussycat wakes her up at night, and then she goes woofing outside.
The trouble with tribbles.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. Thank you again, Emily. Good to
Thanks
see you.
for calling.
Hey.
Good speaking. I'll try and call in sometime soon when I've got some time.
Good.
Very good.
You're welcome
well.
to join us anytime. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you soon.
Very good.
Cheers.
Man,
How fun is that?
This is so good.
Who's here in the chat?
Let's look at the chat.
Hey, who's here in the chat? There's Ellen. Hey, Stephanie, Elizabeth, Ellen, Pete, Catherine, Kay, Jonathan, Ozzy Medhead. Awesome. Everybody's here.
You guys, what do you got? So again,
I'm totally looking. I'm
you can-
leaning across you.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
can
I'm in
do
your
it.
shot. I'm
So,
totally in your shot,
I'm
Justin. reading this.
I'm learning the laptop placement that we need to have for future episodes.
Yes.
And so we can all see the chat room, and I think this is going to be wonderful. Again, plan on joining us here at the Scum and Villiany Cantina. It's on Hollywood Boulevard, right across from Hollywood and Vine, one of the most famous intersections in the entire world. It's on the Walk of Fame. There are stars in front of where we're at
There are
right now.
stars always on the Walk of Fame, and some of the most interesting ones are right near this intersection because we're near the Capitol Records building.
Yeah, we're down.
And
we're getting a call on the hotline.
It's so cool to go up there and see some of the musical artists up
Hi,
by the
who's
Capitol
calling?
Records building.
Hi, this is Jenna, aka Galadius here. I just wanted to say excellent work with the upgrade and camera. You guys look wonderful.
Thank you.
And I'm super excited now. I'm gonna start saving up money to go to Hollywood to visit you guys.
Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing to hear. Like, I just wanted to have a bigger playground and that was more hobbity, and I hope we can turn this Star Wars thing into a Hobbit hole worthy of your fandom.
I have no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
Well said. Well said.
Man, that's thank you for that compliment, and we look forward to doing the show every Tuesday, and I appreciate you calling in.
Definitely. Thank you guys. Big love to everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Wow,
Man.
that's awesome.
This has been a wonderful episode.
Do you believe the love? We're getting showered with love over
Yeah,
here.
so many phone calls.
Just saying, we're getting showered with
Look,
love.
look at all these text messages that people are sending us. I haven't even had a chance to read all of them. So Skypes from around the world.
The thing is,
Everyone has been like, I've got to go there.
we're going to spend so many shows arguing about casting of this upcoming series, okay? I already have a few names in mind. We're going to argue about their cinematographer and their choice of composers. We're going to go, there's so much crazy business going to be happening with that new Amazon series. But you know what someone told me? He said Game of Thrones was in development at HBO for 5 years before David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, the showrunners, actually got into production. Do you think that Amazon is really taking their time?
Amazon has all the time in the world. In fact, the more time they take, the better.
Yep.
I will say that they've already announced that the earliest that we will see this is 2020. So they haven't even announced a showrunner or a writer or anything. So we're 2 years away earliest. And I will say this, speaking of Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones filmmakers, D.B. Weiss,
David Benioff, no, the Emmy Award-winning showrunners of Game of Thrones,
who nobody wanted for Lord of the Rings, have just signed on to do Star Wars television and movies. So
That's
the
gonna be
Game of
interesting.
Thrones people are not involved in the Lord of the Rings. So let's all take a collective breath of a sigh of relief, knowing that the guys in charge of Game of Thrones are not touching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I know. I love Game of Thrones, but that approach and that tone is really not the tone of J.R.R. Tolkien, not the same storytelling tone, but it makes me think about infrastructure and budget and the money. As a producer myself, having looked at a really small movie budget, you have to make every dollar count for the people you hire and the locations where you shoot and how much money you spend getting your cameras and then getting insurance for the people who are shooting on location. It's a lot. It's a hell of a lot to think of. And on top of all that, there's the creative part. where they can't get it wrong. They have to get the creative part
So take
right.
your time.
So
Take
yeah,
your time.
really.
We'll be there to critically judge everything that you possibly announce.
We're
that
just
you will
warning
do.
you, Jeff Bezos and
But
company, that we will be here to rabidly breathe down your neck while you're making this show.
And let's remind
okay?
people that in
No sweat.
2006 and 7, we were the ones that first suggested Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins, and he was the best Bilbo that we could have ever asked for. So
it was either him or James McAvoy.
Yeah.
It was, and it ended up being Martin Freeman who was the best.
Well, anyway, let's take a look at all the cameras that we have around here.
Oh, here we
got
go.
Camera 1.
He's showing off cameras
Camera
again.
2, Camera 3,
Hey, camera 3.
and Camera 4. And I think we can do a little bit more as we figure out all the technical jiggery pokery.
I love doing this just to give everybody a sense of, wow, look at the space. It's like
It's a real. Can you imagine a
over
bunch
here.
of cosplayers? Yeah, I bet you we can get Kyle here in cosplay as a Rohan, just sitting there like or drinking like
Yes,
at the
we
bar
could. Oh my God, that'd be brilliant.
with his elven bow.
He's going to be at WonderCon. Aren't we all going to be at WonderCon?
WonderCon is next week. We'll see you on Sunday, 10:30 a.m., room 200B. We've got all the latest updates on what's going on with the feature film about Tolkien, the other feature film about Tolkien.
Not Sunday the 18th. Not Sunday the 18th, but Sunday the 25th.
Sunday the 25th.
So we'll be there in 2 weeks.
We'll be there in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So
yes.
thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us for 6 years. We love this new spot, and we're gonna keep.
I can't believe it. It's 6:30 already.
We've
Dude, it's 6:30 already.
We've got an adventure to go on. But thank you for joining us.
Oh, say it right. I'm quite ready for another adventure. Say it right.
What he said.
Hey, there you go.
Follow us at
I'm
the One
quite
Ring
ready.
Net. At the One Ring Net on everything except Snapchat. And the kids today told us skip Snapchat, stick to Instagram stories. So that's what we're gonna do.
Skip Snoke. No more Snoke.
So
they killed him.
Follow us on everything. Help us get to 50,000 on Instagram.
And tell your friends to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and the Facebook.
We're so close
the
to.
Bookface.
We're so close on Instagram, and we're so close to 100,000 on Twitter. I just like round numbers. So let's get there. And if you want to keep up to date with the Star Trek and the Star Wars and all the things going on at the Cantina here, it's SC Cantina, right? No, SV. Scum, Villiany, Cantina. SVC. Scum, Villiany, Cantina.
SV.
Cantina.
At SV Cantina. At Scum and Villainy Cantina on Instagram.
You just search on Facebook for,
what?
Scum and Villainy.
All right.
We've tagged it on the Facebook. Look at our post on this video, and you'll see the link right to their page. Click follow.
I already have a short list of people that I want to invite. Dominic Monaghan, who's here. We've got Adam Brown, who is here in
Graham
town.
McTavish is in town right
Graham
now.
McTavish, who's in Santa Monica. We're going to invite Andy Serkis. We're going to invite Sir Ian McKellen when he comes into town.
We need to talk to Elijah Wood because his Dirk Gently just got canceled.
Oh, we definitely need to talk to Elijah. Now, we're going to invite Elijah. And do you know who I think would be one of the most interesting personalities to talk with on this show? Sala Baker.
Here in this venue.
Imagine bringing the Dark Lord Sauron into this room. I want to talk to Sala in this room.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be brilliant. You guys are a very faithful an audience. You are true blue. Switch to camera. Camera 1.
Camera 1.
I love you, Camera 4, but I love you, Camera 1. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And thank you, JC. Thank you for the hardworking team behind the scenes at the Scum and Villainy Cantina. What on earth are we going to do to top this?
We're going to keep getting better, and we're going to keep talking Lord of the Rings.
It's going to be so awesome.
Till next week, same bat time.
Same bat channel. Follow me on Instagram at QuickBeam2000, and thank you, Hannah.
And let's go to that camera.
Hey, this was an actually awesome experience, dude. Dude, this was so good.